Hello, my friends. How are you all doing today? I hope you're all doing okay. Today, I'm just going to read to you some random facts I've read on the internet. Some of these facts may be true, some may be false, but I will leave that entirely up to you. A chameleon can move both of its eyes independently of each other. Because of the rotation of Earth, you can throw a ball further and faster to the east than you can to the west. A rubber band lasts longer if you keep freezing it every now and again. There are 293 different ways to change a dollar. Out of all the animals in the world, the mosquito has contributed to more deaths by humans than anything else. This one I found a little bit strange. Chicken livers. Now, chicken livers apparently can be used to change blood type A to blood type 0. That's blood type O, not 0. The strongest muscle in your body is actually your tongue. Your thigh bone is stronger than concrete. An octopus actually has 3 hearts. 3 hearts. Now that's something completely different. The blue whale, the largest living animal on our planet, its heart is the same size as a small car, and its main blood vessel is so large you could actually swim up. It's not possible for you to actually tickle yourself. This comes from scientists, where the cerebellum tells the rest of your brain, or warns the rest of your brain, that you are going to try and tickle yourself. Hence, the rest of your brain switches off to this, so you don't get the tickling sensation. This one is actually for the ladies. The best time to buy shoes is in the late afternoon. Now this, according to scientists, is because in the late afternoon your feet have swelled slightly, giving you your true foot size. So this enables you to buy the correct size shoe instead of buying them first thing in the morning and then later on in the afternoon they no longer fit you properly. A typical lead pencil, if you drew a line without stopping, you would be able to draw a pencil line for roughly 35 miles. That's quite some distance from one lead pencil. When a baby is first born, it's actually colourblind. This one I found interesting. Children actually grow quicker in the springtime of each year than they do the rest of the year. Another strange one for you. According to results, babies born in May of each year weigh on average 200 grams heavier than babies born the rest of the year. On our planet, there are approximately 6,800 different languages. Now, lots of these languages sound the same. Some only have a slight variation, and some are completely different, as you know. A coconut is actually a seed, and it's the largest seed on our planet. It does actually have a few other benefits or side effects depending on your own body. Lots of people love coconuts. Lots of people love to drink the coconut juice. But with an awful lot of people, this does have an adverse effect, making you go to the toilet an awful lot. The first largest domain ever registered on the internet was symbolics.com, and that was on 15th of March 1985. Business.com is currently the most expensive domain on the internet and was sold for $7.5 million. In 2001, the 5 most valuable brand names in order at that time were Coca-Cola, Microsoft, IBM, GE, and Nokia. Now, I don't really know what GE is. It didn't say. Another office one for you. On average, in offices and businesses, a single document may be copied up to 19 times. The average car has around 30,000 individual components. 75% of all the cars Rolls-Royce ever made are still on the road today. The inventor of the cruise control was actually blind. An adult eagle can easily kill and carry away a young deer. Southern sea otters. The southern sea otters actually have flaps of skin under their legs which act as pockets. And if you believe that you are truly one in a million, there are roughly 7,184 people on Earth that believe they are the exact same as you. On average, or depending on where you actually live, you can eat up to 70 different types of insects and bugs while you are actually asleep. One-fifth of our population actually believe that aliens are living amongst us, disguised as us. Coca-Cola. I'm not really keen on Coca-Cola, especially when I found this next fact out, that Coca-Cola is actually green. They have to put a dye in it to make it the colour we know it today. Could you imagine that? Ordering a drink of Coca-Cola and you get this green substance in a glass fizzing away. On average, well, there is estimated that on average 65% of people watch TV and surf the internet at the same time. That's quite random, isn't it? Over 1 million people watch videos on YouTube every month. That's an average of 4 hours each per month. The iPhone 3 is about 2,000 times faster than the Super Nintendo. It's estimated that 80% of all images on the internet are of naked women. The internet speed of the International Space Station is faster than the average internet speed in Australia. Canada. Canada is rated as third world in broadband. In broadband ratings by Netflix. It's a bit tight, isn't it? There's a bigger part of the internet which is not linked with the common internet we use. It's called the deep web and is estimated to be 500 times larger than the common internet. So that's over 70%. That's a large piece of internet what we don't normally use. AOL still brings in over $6 million a year from dial-up internet subscriptions. There's a whole demographic of homeless Japanese youths who live and sleep solely in internet cafes. In 2011, a 75-year-old woman from Georgia accidentally cut the fibre optic cable that provided internet to 90% of Americans. There is 4G cell service and internet capabilities at the peak of Mount Everest. Now that takes some doing. Robert Metcalfe actually predicted in 1995 that the internet would collapse a year later in 1996, and that he would eat his words if he did not. Well, in 1997 he blended a printed copy of the speech he made 2 years earlier and made it into a liquid form and drank the mixture. So he didn't actually eat it, but he drank it. If you believe that you are truly one in a million, then there is approximately 7,184 people who believe they are the same as you. This will make you think now when you go to sleep. A person will eat or swallow by accident, knowing or not knowing, but a person will eat or swallow approximately 70 different sorts of insects and flies while they're asleep. One-fifth of people believe that aliens are living amongst us and disguising themselves as us. James Buchanan, as you may know, was the 15th US president, and he continuously bought slaves out of his own money in order to free them. This one made me think a little bit. Coca-Cola. Now, Coca-Cola is actually green without the artificial colouring dye that they put in to make it brown. A random one here. Did you know that you cannot snore and dream at the same time? I know a few people who would disagree with that. When you look up at the sky and you see clouds, depending on the size of the clouds, a single average cloud can weigh more than 1 million pounds. Strange one here. Men. Now, us men, unlike you ladies, us men are 6 times more likely to be hit by lightning. I don't know why that is. One animal which has sensitive hearing is a coyote. A coyote can hear a mouse moving under 1 foot of snow. Another animal, sloth. I actually like sloths. I find them fascinating. Now, it would take a sloth 1 month to travel 1 mile. A mole. A mole can dig a tunnel up to 1 mile in 1 night. Chewing gum while chopping onions will help you not to cry. If you stretch a slinky out straight, it will measure on average 87 feet. Al Capone. Al Capone's business card said he was actually a used furniture dealer. In the last 5 minutes, our planet Earth has travelled over 5,000 miles. Now, apparently, you cannot snore and dream at the same time. If you stretch a slinky out to its full length, it will be roughly 87 feet long. During the length of this video so far, our planet has travelled 15,000 miles. 95% of people text stuff that they can't say in person or write in a letter. This is because they use predictive text to spell a certain word. Coconut water can be used as a blood plasma. In New York, it is illegal to sell a haunted house without notifying the would-be buyers. In the 1930s, doctors used to use ketchup, tomato ketchup, as a medicine. Only 8% of people who start a diet in the new year will actually succeed in keeping on the diet and losing weight. Avocados are actually poisonous to birds. And a broken clock tells the right time twice a day. People with blue eyes tend to have a higher tolerance to alcohol. Sea otters. Sea otters hold hands while they are sleeping so as not to drift apart. Cats have around 32 individual muscles in each ear. In Japan, there are 5 temples that have blood-stained ceilings. This is because a long time before these temples were actually made, the ceilings they got the boards from used to be floorboards in old taverns where fighting would regularly take place. That is why they have blood-stained ceilings in some of these temples. Now, if you started with a penny and doubled it every day, so today you'd have a penny, tomorrow you would have 2 pence, the day after that you would have 4 pence, the day after 8 pence, then 16 pence, then 32 pence, then 64 pence, then 128 pennies. As hard as this is to believe, within 27 days you would actually have £1 million. A traffic jam once lasted 10 days with the cars only moving 0.6 miles. When the first air balloon was made, they sent a sheep, a duck and a rooster up in it to see if it was safe. On average, 10%, this isn't actually a good thing to happen to parents, but on average, 10% of all babies born each day are given to the wrong parents. The harder you try to fall to sleep, the harder and longer it will actually take you to fall to sleep. To each person on our lovely planet, there are approximately 1.6 million ants. Ooh, that'll send shivers up, yeah? Russia. Now, Russia actually has a larger surface or footprint than there is on Pluto. New York drifts about 1 inch further away from London each year. 95% of people text stuff that they can't actually say. Drying fruit. Now, drying fruit actually depletes it of around about 30 to 80%, depending on the fruits, of its vitamins and antitoxins. Blueberries will not actually ripen until they are picked. Ketchup. Ketchup was first used as a medicine back in the 1930s. I don't really see what they would have thought it would have cured. Avocados. Avocados are poisonous to birds. A funny one for you. A broken clock. A broken clock actually tells you the right time twice a day. Out of all the world's population, everybody who starts a diet, there is only 8% of them that will actually finish the diet. Another one I didn't know. Coconut water. Coconut water can actually be used as a blood plasma. It's considered good luck in Japan if a sumo wrestler makes your baby cry. A gorilla. Now, when a gorilla burps, it means it is actually happy. Haunted houses. In New York, it is actually illegal to sell a haunted house to somebody without notifying them that it is actually haunted. The oldest condom ever found dates back to the 1640s and was actually found in a cesspit at Dudley Castle, and it was made from animal intestines. In 1923, a famous jockey, Frank Hayes, won a race despite crossing the finish line dead. He suffered a heart attack mid-race but stayed in the saddle until the finishing line. And he was actually 20 to 1 outside Victory. The longest time ever recorded between twins being born is 87 days. Post boxes. Now this is a random one for you. There is a post box in Tsunami, Japan, that is actually 10 meters underwater. In 2007, an American man named Corey Taylor tried to fake his own death in order to get out of paying his mobile phone contract. Needless to say, it didn't work. Now, according to a study, people who constantly check and use their mobile phones throughout the day are less likely to delay gratification. Adult pleasure workers in Australia, you know what I mean. Now, adult pleasure workers in Australia can actually claim the money back from their taxes each year in order to maintain the facade. They can claim back haircuts, hair care products, lingerie, and even dance lessons. Experts claim that a truthful person will answer a follow-up question with more detail than an untruthful person. An untruthful person will give the exact same tale for both first and second questions. A gorilla can catch a cold of a human. A newborn Chinese water deer is so small you could hold it in the palm of your hand. Ostriches. An ostrich can run faster than a horse. A male ostrich can roar like a lion. A lion in the wild only actually does around about 20 kills every year. And it's the female lion that does 90% of the hunting and killing. The loneliest creature in the world is said to be a whale who's been calling for a mate for 2 decades, but his high-pitched whale song is that high-pitched that other whales cannot hear him. Everyone has a unique tongue print, just like your fingerprints. puppets. Most puppets are left-handed. This is because the puppeteers are right-handed, so they operate the puppet's head with the favoured hand, the right hand. The speed of light isn't always true, because light doesn't necessarily travel at the speed of light. The slowest ever recorded speed of light was at 38 miles an hour. A bat. Now a bat is the only mammal that can't fly. A bat's legs, the bones in the bat's legs are so small that they can't even use them to walk. Some male songbirds sing over 2,000 times a day. If you keep a goldfish in a dark room, after a while it will turn from an orange to a pale beige. A random one. Cows can sleep stood up. I'm glad to see you here again. Have you come to share some random facts with me? That's good. I'm glad. Right. I do have some random facts for you today. You'll have to bear with me though. I'm reading these as I'm actually speaking to you. So, random fact number 1. The technology behind what we all have and use today, called the internet, was actually started way back in the 1960s at MIT. The first ever email sent was by Gary Thwark, who was nicknamed the father of spam. China has treatment camps for internet addicts. You'd better sign me up then. Over 37% of the internet is actually sexually orientated, i.e. porn. Over 30,000 websites are hacked each and every day. There is an high-speed internet available, actually halfway up Mount Everest. That's quite a random thing. A high-speed internet available halfway up Mount Everest. The majority of internet traffic The majority of internet traffic is done by bots, not humans, and malware. When Montenegro became independent from Yugoslavia, its internet domain went from YU to ME, me. In the US, a journalist can face 105 years in jail for posting a link on the internet. Now, in America, 15% of adults do not use the internet. Researchers are actually debating on whether or not to recognize internet addiction as a mental disorder. The first webcam was created in Cambridge to actually check the status of the coffee pot. I presume this was done to try and stop people wasting coffee. Over 100,000 .com domains are registered every day. China actually has more internet users using their mobile phones rather than their computers or laptops. 1/3 of Italians have never used or been on the internet. There are over 70% of all emails sent each day are actually spam. The FI in Wi-Fi doesn't actually stand for anything at all. By the end of 1993, there were only 623 websites on the internet. It was estimated that 6% of the world's population has an internet addiction. Having an addiction. I suppose being addicted to the internet is much better than being addicted to drugs, alcohol. I'd rather be addicted to the internet than drugs or alcohol. LOL used to mean lots of love. Before, it was laughing out loud. Now, it still means the same, doesn't it? If somebody puts LOL, you do tend to think the laugh out loud, but it does still stand for lots of love. In 2010, Finland became the first country in the world to make internet access a legal right. the first ever pizza ordered on the internet was in 1994, and that was to Pizza Hut. The first physical item ever bought and sold on the internet was a bag of marijuana around about 1971. If the internet went down for a day, 196 billion emails, 3 billion Google searches would all have to wait. The current library at Alexander has a copy of the web pages that ever existed on the internet since it started in 1996. Thanks to his internet popularity, the child from the Success Kid made enough money to fund his dad's kidney transplant. That's quite interesting, isn't it? Well, the first legal online transaction ever was Stanford students buying marijuana from MIT students. The term surfing the internet was coined in 1992 by an upstate New York librarian called Jean Armour Polly. And the first ever tweet was sent on March the 21st, 2006 by Jack Dorsey. Mark Zuckerberg's original Facebook profile number was 4. The first ever YouTube video was uploaded on the 23rd of April 2005. The video was called Me at the Zoo. The featured, I should say, Jord Curran, one of the founders at the San Diego Zoo. Now, every time you type a search into Google, it uses in approximately 0.02 seconds 1,000 other computers to retrieve the answer you are searching for. The original Space Jam and You've Got Mail websites are still alive and doing well. Between 15 and 20% of all searches Google does each day have never been Googled before. The inventor of the modern World Wide Web, WWW, Tim Berners-Lee, was knighted by Queen Elizabeth. Mr. Berners-Lee uploaded the first image to the internet. The image was a picture of a band, it was a joke of a band of female nuclear research lab technicians. And it was called Les Horribles Cornets. The first website is actually still online. And it's http:/info.cern hypertext the project. That's a bit of a funny one. The most commonly searched question beginning with "what is" in 2013 was "what is twerking?" Now, the most expensive keyword in Google AdWords is insurance. The most popular Tumblr, I always get that wrong, the most popular Tumblr is the official updates pages for Minecraft, and Gangnam Style by PSY is the undisputed champion of all videos on YouTube, which has had over 2 billion views. The symbol we use on the internet to describe something or describe a certain channel we want to look at, website, we'll put the A in the little circle. That symbol is actually used so the computers know we are searching for or sending an email to a person rather than another machine. Garfield, the cartoon cat, once offered a free email service. Hello everybody. How are you all doing today? Are you all doing okay? That's good. That's good. I'm glad. Well, today I'm going to read to you some random facts off the internet. If you lift a kangaroo's tail up off the ground, it can't hop. Bananas. Have you ever wondered why bananas are shaped the way they are? Well, this is apparently because they grow upwards towards the sun. Billy goats. Now, billy goats actually urinate on their own head to smell more attractive to female goats. During your life, you will have produced enough saliva to fill 2 swimming pools. A single polar bear can eat as many as 86 penguins in one sitting. Movie trailers Now, I didn't really know this, but movie trailers were originally played after the film had finished, hence the name movie trailers. I suppose movie beginners doesn't really have the same meaning. Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, was actually produced by Steven Spielberg. A random one for you. In the UK, it is actually illegal to eat mince pies on Christmas Day. That sort of puts a bit of a downer on Christmas Day because everyone thinks mince pies. Apparently, banging your head against a brick wall will burn 150 calories an hour. When hippos are upset, their sweat turns a shade of red. The average woman, lady, uses in 5 years her height in lipstick. Human saliva, again, human saliva has a boiling point 3 times higher than water. Ah, I wonder who comes up with these random facts. A adult eagle. Now, an adult eagle can kill a young deer and fly away with it. A bit of a creepy one for you. There are more life forms living on your skin than there are people on the planet. Ooh, that would almost make you tingle all over that. What a cuter note. Southern sea otters. Now, southern sea otters have flaps of skin under their legs that act as pockets. The Nigerian email scam is the modern version of another con called the Spanish prisoner, which dates back to long before the internet was even invented. Well, that's all. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.